Hey everyone, it's me, Nick Newey. So, I tried to go full screen. Uh, I tried to go full screen, but it didn't really work. So we're just gonna have to do like shitty ass like 10 7 by 8, whatever it's called, whatever the fuck. Um, I want to play Deltarune again. I want to play Deltarune again. Now, the focus of this Let's Play will not be akin to like the focus of your generic Deltarune playthrough. Most Deltarune playthroughs you get is someone who's like trying to experience like their first impressions of the game or something. I am a person who's been in the theory space for a while. I've been making my own Deltarune theories and watching other people's Deltarune theories. I haven't seen every big Deltarune theory. You know, I haven't seen all the big ones, so I don't know all of the big ones. But the purpose of this playthrough is that I want to overanalyze every line I come across. Now, if a line is just said as like a joke, I don't think I'm going to read too much into it. Like, Jigsaw Joe wants like $1. He's like desperate for you to give him $1. I don't think that has much to do with the lore overall. But like anything that could mean something, I want to like look at it, I want to read it, I want to study it very deeply and try to get at what it's trying to get across. Now, before we get into this, I do want to discuss some Deltarune theories that I believe in, whether it's something I think is definitely going to be the case that the game goes in this direction, or whether it's something that's like maybe more you know, this could be what it is. I want to get into some of my overarching Deltarune thoughts right off the bat. So, first of all, I do not believe in player evil theory. I do not think that the player is meant to be the main antagonist of the frickin' game. I could see a route they do where it's like the player is meant to be a flawed protagonist, and like throughout the game we need to realize our flaws as the player, and maybe we'll like, I don't know. I definitely think the situation with Kris is portrayed as at least a dysfunctional thing. But I think the real issue with the player-Kris dynamic is that Kris and the player don't have any way to communicate with each other. We're given very limited dialogue options, whereas, you know, sometimes in the game maybe we'd want to be given something a little more specific, you know? Something a little more, like, direct and specific and, like, you know, just not so, like we have to choose from the options given to us, basically. And from Kris's perspective, we don't get to read any of their dialogue. And that's interesting to me, because we get to read the dialogue of everyone else, but we don't get to read Kris's dialogue. And so I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if Kris is just not letting us see what they say, or maybe it's Gaster being Gaster and doing Gastery shenanigans. But I do think that the real crux of the player-Kris dynamic is the lack of communication between them. It's not so much one of them is good and the other is the evil character. It's just like we're in a situation that is not ideal for either of us. We have to make do with what we get, and what we're given is very limited dialogue options. And we'll sort of see how that plays out more throughout the game, I guess. Another thing I want to say is Gaster. What do I think Gaster's role is in the story? Well, I've kind of theorized this about it for a while. You know, Gaster, he's very tied to Hell. He's very tied to 666. The roaring is called Hell's Roar, and the Knight is trying to bring that about. And Friend is called the Tail of Hell, and seems to take control of characters like Spampton in like the secret boss routes. So I've sort of come to this conclusion, and this is something I could be very off about. I've come to the conclusion of roaring delta theory, which I guess, to say it in another way, it's like unholy trinity theory. So Gaster would be like the master of these two other like demon-coded characters, and the knight would be like Gaster's quote-unquote daughter or quote-unquote son or quote-unquote gender nondescript child. And then friend would be like how he spreads his influence over the world of Deltarune. And so in that sense, I don't think we're ever going to get like a direct encounter with Gaster. We'll get direct encounters with the knight, definitely, and I think at least on like secret routes we might get direct encounters with friend, device friend. But that's sort of my conclusion that I've come to in regards to that, and we can talk about some of the evidence for that as we go through the game. I've also come to the idea that Eram is either just friend wearing the Shadow Mantle or the knight wearing the Shadow Mantle. I'm not sure which. But I don't think Eram is like a fourth demon character. I think Eram is just like one of the two cloaked by the Shadow Mantle. Now, who do I think the knight is? Well, that's where I'm actually sort of like questioning myself. Because back when Chapter 4 first came out, I was like, oh, hell yeah, the knight's gonna be Des. It's so obvious that this is Des. But now, I've kind of been thinking differently. I've kind of been thinking that, you know, it's like a big part of the story is that we're supposed to find Des, right? And if Des is just the knight, then, well, I mean, we don't really need to find Des. Des is just right there. Maybe we need to save Des from being controlled by the narrative or whatever, but like, you know, with a big part of this being that we need to find Des, I don't think that the knight is Des anymore. Now, I do think Rudy Knight is a very interesting idea. You know, I think Rudy Knight is a very interesting idea. Azrael Knight is also very interesting. It might be weird that he's like in college and also like doing stuff in hometown. Like maybe he just dropped out the last few days of college so he could bring the roaring or whatever the knight's trying to do. I think that's another thing, is that like we're not really gonna know Gaster's motivations or the knight's motivations. We're not gonna know if like we're not gonna know if any of these characters are like, their motivations are they just want to have fun and play with the world like a toy, or if they're trying to experiment with the world, see what's gonna happen. You know, it could just be that Gaster just wants to meet us, the player, who, yes, I do believe in player angel theory, and we can get into that a little bit more later on. We don't know if it's like a noble goal. Like maybe the knight is trying to find Des and is like overturning the world to try and find Des in the depths of the darkness. And I think that would be a cool idea. I've also considered the idea that Des could be a human. Des could be the discarded vessel from the beginning of the game. And that's why the vessel was discarded, was that the vessel was discarded at the same time Des was lost. Whatever lost entails, you know? Like, Des could straight up be a human, for all we know. A human who wears little deer antlers, just like Kris wears little goat antlers, you know? That could be the case. Another thing I want to bring up before we start is, what is the banishing? Oh, the game talks about the banishing a whole lot, and it's like, we're not really sure whether or not this is going to be a good thing or a bad thing. It sounds like a bad thing, I'll tell you that much. I have considered, and this is my favorite idea, but this might not be what the banishing is. I've considered the idea that the banishing could just be synonymous with the roaring. You know, so all the characters get like the pieces of the prophecy out of order and don't really know what they're looking at. What if the banishing is synonymous with the roaring, and somehow the heroes of the prophecy cause the roaring to happen, and that's what the banishing is. It's the subsuming of the light world, which the Darkners see as a sort of heaven, you know? And so, like, the light world is subsumed by darkness in the midst of the roaring, and that's what the banishing is. You know? What if that's what happens? It could be. It could be what happens. Now, those are, like, the big things I wanted to say. When it comes to, like, mini-theories, we'll talk about them as we get to the segments of them. And I want to just consider stuff. I don't really want to come to a solid conclusion on anything. I just want to consider stuff. Okay. Alright. Gaster. Are you there? Are we connected? Excellent. Truly excellent. Now, we may begin. Was that a light fountain? Did we just create a light fountain? And now the light world exists? First, you must create a vessel. Select the head that you prefer. Should we try and make a Lazuli looking one? These hairstyles really look like Lazuli. Not much. This one kind of looks like Gaster. I guess this is the most Lazuli looking one. Select the torso that you prefer. Oversized hoodie. Oversized sweater, I guess. Select the legs that you prefer. Let's be a little different. Let's be a little different. This is your body. Do you accept it? Yeah, sure. Excellent. You have created a wonderful form. Now, let us shape its mind as your own. What is its favorite food? She likes tacos. Guess that's more savory. Savory's not on here, though. So, she likes cheese balls and solid chunks of lapis lazuli. So, we'll say sweet. Sure. Your favorite blood type. Your favorite blood type. Well, she's a lazurite. Maybe she has different blood than humans. What color does it like most? Blue. Definitely blue. Please give it a gift. Please give it a kindness. Mind, ambition, bravery, voice. I'd say Lazuli's trait is really kindness. How do you feel about your creation? Twill not hear. Hope or love? Say hope. Have you answered honestly? Sure. You acknowledge the possibility of pain and seizure? No. Understood. Name your vessel. Lazuli. Lazuli. We called it Lazuli. And what about the Creator? Your own name. Nick. 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 Excellent. Truly excellent. Nick. Thank you for your time. Your answers. Your wonderful creation will now be discarded. That's a different voice. That's a different voice. No one can choose who they are in this world. Your name is... Kris. Kris, if you do not wake up, we will be late for school. I will wait outside for you, alright? So, who discarded the vessel? It wasn't Gaster. It was a different voice than Gaster. I do like the idea that it was just Kris who did that. I mean, if we interact with something, close drawer. I was going to make a point about how, oh, it's the same dialect or whatever. I don't know. Because, like, I think in Japan, I think, like, there's, like, more details on like, sort of the like, who that is in like, Japan. I don't know. There's, like, sort of a cadence there that just sort of, like, shifts and changes, and it kind of makes it obvious that's a different voice. So... Coupon book, okay. So, who discarded the vessel? I like the idea of Kris theory. I definitely think it is a member of the Roaring group chat. Oh, that was something I forgot to mention in, like, the introduction. The Roaring group chat. There are CDs under the bed. There's also a game console that has a normal controller and a knockoff one. Is that the one from Chapter 3? Maybe. It's a computer desk. There are many boxes under it filled with old books. Okay, so we do need to mention the Roaring group chat. Okay, so the Roaring group chat, alright? So, Chapter 4 made it obvious that there's some sort of conspiracy going on in Hometown. Now, it's not clear if this is one conspiracy or, like, multiple conspiracies. But one thing I have realized about every suspicious Hometown member is that they kind of perfectly match the description of chess pieces. No? So, you have Asgore, he would be the king piece. You have Carol, the queen piece. You have Alvin, the bishop piece. Of course, you got the Roaring Knight. That's obvious. And then you have a rook. And I've thought, you know, a rook is kind of like a strong, fortified tower that they tend to, like, keep prisoners in. So maybe Kris, being the one who cages us as their prisoner, maybe Kris is the rook, maybe Kris is the pawn, and Papyrus is the rook. We could get Papyrus in on this biz. I've also considered the idea that Sans' brother in this universe is not actually Papyrus, but is instead Gaster, and we will meet Gaster, like, later on, you know. And I was thinking that Gaster is not a pawn on the chessboard. Gaster is the hand controlling every piece on his side of the chessboard. And I've kind of thought maybe this whole situation is portrayed as us, the player. We are the angel of life. Gaster, on the other side of the board, is the angel of death. Maybe. And so, like, Gaster would be tied to more, like, sort of demonic imagery. The player would be more so tied to angelic imagery, at least on the normal route. Once you go on the weird route, you do start to get some, like, demonic imagery for the player. But that's because it's the weird route. That's the one you're not supposed to do. It's a red wagon with a rusty birdcage in it. Looks like it's seen quite a few crashes. Now, one thing I will say is that this wagon... You see this? You guys seeing this? This is already here. This is, like, So we didn't just like suddenly appear on Kris, and then like, oh hey, there's this there's this bird cage that magically materialized into my room. I wonder why that happens. I think Kris kind of knew at the very least. Now maybe Carol just like brought this wagon with a cage here and like plopped it down. It was like, here, have a bird cage. It's whatever. Stained. I think Kris has some knowledge of what's going on. I think Kris knows that they were gonna end up being like a carrier for whatever the soul is. Whether or not Kris is the one who did it, or remember the Roaring group chat was the one who did it. The door is locked. It's only you. I've also considered the idea that it could be Friend who knocked the vessel off the table, because he's like a cat. He like knocks stuff off like a cat. There are crayons in the drawer. Their labels have long faded, and there's no green. Is Rousey the green crayon? He could be. The door's locked because we will sneak chocolates out of the room if the door's not locked. A cactus. There's not much to say about it. Yes, it's the Sundere cactus. There are many books. Tales of Snails. Storybook. Snails do not have tails. A scientific refutation. Can snails help your garden? Not really. And a signed copy of The History of Humans and Monsters by Gerson Boom. So that's a signed copy. So, the Dreamer family were good friends with Gerson Boom. Dreamer family was good friends with Gerson Boom. On the shower ledge, there's... Yeah, okay, it's just... Yeah, alright. Just some flavor text, not important. There's a can of Icy. Icy's Flamin' Hot Pizza flavor. It seems to be almost entirely full. Now, a lot of people, myself included, assumed that was like Kris's Flamin' Hot Pizza flavor. But apparently that's like Asriel's. Like I think there is like a line in chapter 4 where it was like Susie mentioned the apple-smelling kid and their pizza-smelling brother. And Kris was like, yeah. I guess I just assumed that was Kris's stuff because it was like, because like Kris was like the one who was like portrayed as being like an IC fan or whatever, even if it was like ironically. Kris, is everything all right in there? Well, I told you guys, we're going to analyze everything. We're going to overanalyze everything. We're going to overanalyze the dialogue associated with flushing the toilet. Kris, what are you doing? You did not put a bath bomb in the toilet again, did you? See, that's lore! See, that's lore! Look, that's lore! Look! Kris put a bath bomb in the toilet, and that's like a super important part of the story. Right? That's like... The pipes have to go somewhere. If anything bad happens, you're paying for the plumbing bill. The pipes have to go somewhere. That bath bomb had to go somewhere. You know? Like, that's lore. That's lore. That's lore. There's a photo on the fridge of you, your mother, and your brother. White fur stuck in the drain. That's Toriel's fur. Cinnamony batter caked up on the stovetop. There's something else that's caked up on the stovetop. Cookie cutters for gingerbread monsters and gingerbread humans. And it's a trash can. It's emitting a pleasant floral scent because every time Asgore gives her flowers, she throws them in the trash can. Okay. It's a landline phone, but you already have a cell phone. It's Cheriel, the beloved living room chair. I'm surprised Cheriel wasn't a darkener. Well, it probably was, but you know where the face was. Somewhere I want my face to be. Okay. It's the TV. Doesn't seem to be plugged in anymore. Oh, yeah, that's Tenna. That's Tenna's, that's Mr. Tenna. Book of hymns. Okay. Kris, there you are. We might still be able to make it. Kris, it is a beautiful day today, is it not? I hope it stays this way when Asriel visits next week. But I wonder, After the excitement of university, will he still enjoy coming home to this little town? Can someone, someone in the Siva Gunner fandom, can you, like, mash up the Deltarune, like this theme in the game with, like, the Quiet Mountain Town song from South Park movie? I think that would fit really well. Maybe someone already did that. Maybe Siva Gunner already did that, and, like, I watched the video and I completely forgot about it. Because, like, I don't know, that's just the thing I tend to do. You have so many freaking Siva Gunner videos, and I have not seen them all, and... So, does everyone have a... Oh, Kris! We thought you weren't coming today. We're doing group projects this month. So walk around and find a partner, okay? You check the time. It seems to be time for class. Kris, the hope is that you choose someone in the class? Well, that's not gonna happen. Computer's wallpaper is a rotating slideshow of nature images, and rarely an image of two buff superheroes embracing, blushing. It's a bunch of roses. What? Am I watching on my phone? It's schoolwork, of course. Animated schoolwork, and... Hey, Kris, have you chosen a partner yet? I think I'm gonna... Hang on. I think I'm gonna turn down my volume in real life. That's a little bit loud. Hang on. Don't worry, Mew Mew. You'll always be my partner. So these roses are from Asgore, interestingly enough, if you know your lore. Asgore likes to give people roses. Partner? I hardly know her! What do you think of that one? Funny, right? No? Well, I got news for you, pal. I already got a partner. Scram! That's right, Kris. I got the good partner. And we're gonna be laughing all the way to the bank. Because I need money. And I'm also very funny. Okay. Yo, Kris, show up earlier next time. I end up having a partner with Snowy, haha. Now he keeps turning to me and saying, howdy, partner, like a cowboy. Howdy. Howdy, partner. Like a cowboy, you say. A cowboy? You're luckier. I'd even be partnerless than this, haha. Quisp, very sauce. Tim already have partner. It's a black and white hard-boiled egg. Sadly, it seems like it already has a partner. Tim partner with egg. Kris, late again, I see. You need a partner? Sorry, I'm already partners with the second smartest student. Oh, wait, Kris, now that I think about it, your unique skill set might help a lot on this assignment. Not. I actually want to get an A. Ask elsewhere, Kris. If you can't get anyone, maybe your mom will be your partner again. Your mom? Your mom? Hey, Kris. Yo, mama. Kris, you know Jackington and Kenny are always partners. We're the ultimate academic duo ever since our first gym class. It was hula hoop day, and they ran out of hoops for us. So she used me instead. That's our origin story. We seem different, but me and Kenny have a ton in common. We both like breathing and unhinging our jaws. Taken. Hey, Kris, what's up? Did you lose your pencil again? Here, you want the candy cane one or the one with lights on it? The one that becomes like a super powerful pencil in the dark world. Huh? You want to be partners? Sorry, Burley already asked me. But I could ask Miss Alphys if we could make a group of 3. I'll ask if you're sure. Yeah, I'm sure there's someone else you can ask. Not yet or yes? So who's making these options? Who's giving me the option? Kris, are you giving me options? Kris, are you giving me options? Are you giving me options? Is the soul giving me options? Is the soul a separate and distinct character from me? Is the soul the culmination of the discarded vessel's being? Because that makes a lot of sense. That makes sense. Like, the soul belongs to the discarded vessel, who is distinct from us, but also similar to us. And it ends up in Kris, which is distinct from us and also similar to us. And then we're the characters, like, playing the game. We're never able to know how the soul is feeling or how Kris is feeling, because none of them will communicate with us, and that's frustrating to me.
Okay, I'll ask. Miss Alphys? Is it okay if we have a group of 3? Hey, what? I do not approve of this! Abort! What? But Kris doesn't have a... Noelle, what were you saying?
She was just saying we're fine being alone.
Actually, I just wanted to know if... Noelle, can you please speak up?
Hi, 5V. Am I late?
Oh, no, you're fine. We were just, choosing partners for the next group project, and, Susie, you're with Kris.
Great. The face.
Now that everyone's here, I'll write the assignment. Has anyone seen the chalk? This is the 3rd time it's gone missing, and you all know I can't start class without some. I mean, my fix, you know? How about this? If no one speaks up, everyone gets in trouble.
Beep.
Anyone? Please? Hey, there might be a box in the supply closet. Miss Alphys, why don't Susie and I... Good idea, Noelle. Susie, since you came in last,
Why do you all keep interrupting her? Why do you all keep interrupting her?
why don't you go get it for me?
Whatever.
And Kris, can you go with her and make sure she actually gets it and stays out of trouble? Thanks, Kris. See you later.
My brother always does like a sort of Joyzy accent for Susie. And like it's a very distinct thing to get correct, so I don't know if I'll be doing it throughout this playthrough. It's a little hard to do. It's fitting if you do it right. And I don't know if I can do it like my brother does. Kris, if I had arms, I would take this cool hat off in remembrance of you. Caddy. Don't die.
Don't worry, Kris. I've always thought Susie can't be so bad, you know? I'm sure everything will turn out fine.
I love you.
And if you have time, could you say hi to her for me?
You are precious. You are precious. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this as Kris because this invokes vibes of the weird route, but what if I say you're precious? Okay, maybe that's better.
Kris, didn't I say being late was a bad idea? It's almost as you should have listened.
We didn't listen.
Alas, Kris, I already tried to help you. Alas, Kris, I already tried to help you. Alas. Alas.
I love that you turn your head 90 degrees like an owl. And you're not even an owl, you're supposed to be a blue jay. And I don't think blue jays can do that. I might be wrong, but I don't think blue jays can do that. I think that's owls.
She was very mean. Said egg never hatch.
The hard-boiled egg emanates a feeling of pity towards you. You're a darkener, aren't you? You are a darkener. I'm sure of it.
Yo, Kris, I'm sorry if I just waited to be your partner. You wouldn't have to be hers. She's gonna pound you to pieces, Kris. And then kick the butts of all those little pieces. Kris, just keep running and don't look back.
Kris, don't listen to him. It's not that bad. You'll probably survive Susie beating you up. You're just gonna fail when she doesn't do any of your project. It's like we always say, Kris. Your says you'll listen. You know what they say. You know what they.
That's never reassuring, huh?
Chris, if you die, can I have your brother's CDs?
Kris, what's the holdup? Go out there.
Okay. Time for class. Uh-oh.
Kris. Didn't see you there. Hey. You didn't see anything now, just did ya? You can't even say. Kris. Hey. Let me tell you a secret. Quiet people piss me off. You think just 'cause you don't say anything, I can't tell exactly what you're thinking?
It's over. I got Susie another job. This was her last chance. And she'll finally be expelled.
Come on, Kris. Don't act shocked. You know it's true. Everyone's waiting for it. Everyone wants it.
So, congrats, Kris. You got me. I'm done for.
Just let me say one little thing. Seems like a waste to get expelled just for having a snack. So, Kris, if I know you're gonna pull the trigger, why did I just get expelled for some real carnage? Kris, how do you feel about losing your face?
Bluff. You're bluffing. You're bluffing.
Nah. Kris, you got a good mother. It'd be a shame to make her bury a child. Alright, let's get this over with. We'll get more chalk, mosey back to class, and then Kris, you'll do our project. How'd that sound? Bad. Don't bother answering. You haven't gotten it by now. Your choices don't matter. Let's go, freak.
She's mean. She's mean. Look to the frosted window. A blurry yellow object is teaching a bunch of blurry, bored-looking objects. The locker is locked. The locker's lock is locked. The lock's locker is locked. The locker's lock's locker is locked. The locker is covered in Jockington memorabilia. Are you ready for the Sadie Hawkman's dance? At this dance, all the chaperones wear giant hawk heads and screech at any students that make contact while dancing.
Kris, you just gonna skip school? What, am I supposed to snitch on you? That'd be rich, huh? Nah, I wouldn't. Get back here. Hey! You skip school, your mom will have a heart attack.
Your mum. You drank from the water fountain.
People put their mouth on that, you know. That wasn't encouragement, dumbass! Kris, well, I realized the baby classroom was better fit for you. Hey, actually, I should come with you. Maybe I'll find a better partner in there. Nah, actually, let's not. Wrong way, Kris. Wrong way. Wrong. Gosh, can you walk any slower or what? Nah, I get it. Not used to walking around without someone holding your hand. Come on, freak. Well, here's the closet. Too bad. We were just starting to have fun. Hey, Kris, is it me, or is it really dark in there? I mean, it's like darker than dark in there. I mean, it's like darker yet darker in there. It's photon reading's negative shit. What's the hold up, Kris? Are you gonna go in or what? Fine. If you're gonna be a wimp, then I'll... Nah. We'll both go in at the same time. See? Why are you so scared? There's nothing in here but old papers. Let's try to find a light switch. Kris, if you leave me here... Get... That's weird. I can't find a switch. Guess it's further in. Kinda big for a closet, huh? You think we'd have reached the end by now? What the heck? What did I just do? This feels like a glitch. What did I just do? Hey, Kris. I think this closet's, broken. There any walls. Well, we worked hard enough. If Alvis wants Chuck so bad, she can get it herself. Let's split. Hey, what the? Hey, it ain't funny. Let us out. Let it.
What if I just don't do anything? What if I just don't press Z? So was there someone else on the other side of the door that closed it for us? I could see that. I wouldn't know who it would be. Maybe Carol or some shit. I don't know.
The floor, it's... Oh, shit. Ah, fuck. Ah, shit. Ah, fuck. Ow.
Hey, Sleepy. How's it going? Wait a minute. Oh, it is broken. The freaking down arrow's like stuck. Okay, I fixed it. Okay, the down arrow was stuck on my keyboard. That's what happened. My down arrow got like lodged into the like. Okay. One of my first thoughts when I played this for the first time is I was like, Kris looks like a lazurite, and Toby Fox doesn't know what lazurites are. I don't know. I don't know. I think about my own characters a lot, so at times you see it flickering, the light only you can see. By second nature, you reach out and save. Yeah, and of course we saved over Kris's name, so that's unfortunate. If only my self-insert OC wasn't discarded at the beginning. I could be myself. But now I'm forced to be this whiny little teenager with, like, parental issues. Too dark to see anything. Too dark to see anything. I mean, I say parental issues, it's more like just a divorce. There's something glowing inside. Take it? Yeah, sure. You got the glow shard. Okay, glow shard. A shimmering shard. Its use is unknown. So the thing with the glow shard is, I was originally convinced that the glow shards were going to be something super important. Because, like, you know, you get the shadow crystals, and it's like, you know, glow shard, shadow crystal, they sound like the same thing. They sound like opposites. But now I do just think that the glow shard is meant to be sold for money, and that's it. You're not actually going to get anything if you hold on to the glow shards. Maybe you will. It does say its purpose is unknown, which makes me think that they are important somehow. You know? Maybe if you need like one glow shard though. Maybe you need like one glow shard in addition to all your shadow crystals to get the good ending. You bathe your body in the light. A power shines within you, breaking through the darkness. Ooh. Power shines within you, you say. Pain you may have had melted away. Originally, I thought the save points were going to be, like, points of Gaster's influence. Like, these are things that, like, Gaster set up. But now I'm kind of thinking what it is it's, like, this is just connected to the soul somehow. I don't know how. Because like, the reason I thought that maybe it was, like, a thing that Gaster set up was, like, that, like, all the Titans had this in front of their face. But I think it was to, like, sort of invoke the sort of motif the Titans have of a devil disguised as an angel of light. So, like, they have the save points in front of their face because they're pretending to be the save point. And maybe the save point actually relates to, like, the soul or Kris or maybe us as the player. And maybe they are a game mechanic set up by Gaster, but I think the save point is, like, healing us by our power. The power within! The power within! Maybe these are like maybe this is how Kris can communicate with us. Maybe save points are like sort of a way in which Kris can like communicate with us, you know? Maybe. It could be. Is star-shaped. In this land, only eyes blinded by darkness can see the way. And of course, that's because it's so dark that it's like negative darkness. It's like photon readings negative darkness. Ah, shit. Ah, fudge! My down arrow got stuck again. I imagine that's going to be a huge problem this playthrough. Only eyes blinded by darkness can see the way, because it needs to be like super dark in order for these worlds to exist. Are these piles of chalk? Are these fetus darkners? Are the piles of chalk and little splimbly, like, dookies? Are these fetus darkners? Are these like the fetus state of darkners? Because these look like piles of dust. These look like piles of Azrael's dust. Hey! Back off! Come any closer now. Kris? Phew. Hey! Don't scare me like that, dumbass! Unless you want to get clocked in the face. Anyway, enough screwing around. Stop screwing around back there. We gotta find a way out of here. Where is here, anyway? It doesn't matter. You got us into this mess. You get us out. Either way, Kris. What if I do nothing? If I don't do anything? Oh my gosh, never mind. You have no idea where you're going. So, okay, now that I've seen the piles of dust, I do want to just discuss that I think it's possible that all Darkners are just, like, monster dust sprinkled over their favorite item, and this is just, like, Deltarune's version of the afterlife. It could be. It could be. I'm not sure that's the case for all Darkners. But, It does seem to be similar. It does seem to be at least one way Darkners can exist. We know that from Gerson Boom. Either way, I do think the Dark Worlds are meant to be Sheol. If I can explain myself for a minute. They're not meant to be heaven or hell. They're meant to be Sheol. Now, what is Sheol? Well, this has to deal with, like, Jewish belief. Nowadays, it's kind of called limbo, but like the ancient phrase of it was Sheol. It's the grave, I think, would be like the most literal translation of it. It's basically the place everyone goes to when they die. Like before before judgment is carried and people go to like heaven or hell, everyone goes to a place called Sheol, which is described as being a very dark place. It's described as the place of darkness, the place of dust. And so I definitely think that, like, the Dark Worlds in general are meant to sort of be Sheol. Limbo. Not Hell. The layer above Hell. So I don't know if that means the Darkners are the undead, but... Hey, Kris, there's someone up there waving at us. Any idea what they want? Run, Kris! Oh, no. Ooh. Uh-oh. Nya, 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 nya. That's the Roaring Night theme. No, they pushed the down button again. What the frick? Why is that key so sticky? Kris, down here. Dun 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 dun. Ah! Oh, oh. Eh. Okay, so one of the problems with this playthrough, and I might not get very far because of this. If this pisses me off so much, I'm just not gonna do this. I'm just not gonna record today. But I keep running into an issue where it's like I press down on my down arrow, and then Kris just wants to keep going down. Just want to keep going down. And I don't know why. That's happened twice so far, and we're not even into the Dark World yet. We're not even into the Chapter 1 Dark World yet. Oh, you're not dead, sweet. Got any idea what the hell this place is? Me either. When did there's someone in that building up there? This place is an abandoned theme park. Wait, where the rats dead? Maybe they abandoned it because there weren't any. Abandoned theme park. Looks like a shop, but the door is locked and no one's inside. It's locked. It's locked. It's locked. I don't know why the first one is it looks like a shop, but there's no one inside, and then it's locked. That's weird. That's weird to me. Ah, yes, the castle. In front of you, a castle looms beneath the empty... A castle looms beneath the empty town. That's an interesting choice of words. The castle looms beneath the empty town. Not above. Beneath. Right? That's strange. Maybe the center of gravity is the Twilight Revere. Or like the space between the light and dark world. Maybe that's where the center of gravity is. And it's like they build like down ways from that. Cause you know we're never told that like the Earth has a core in this version. A black gazer emerges from it, piercing endlessly into the sky. Power of this place shines within you. Yeah, I say that, but I think the depths would be like beneath the Sheol or whatever this place is. I don't know. However this place is constructed is like entirely in the mind of Toby Fox, and like none of us will really get it. I do think that the depths is distinct from the Dark Worlds themselves. Like the Dark Worlds are like their own thing, and then like beneath that is the depths. Like beneath the Light Worlds is the Dark Worlds, and then beneath the Dark Worlds is the depths, and the depths is like hell. This is limbo, but the depths is like hell. A castle? Why the hell there a castle inside a supply closet? Welcome, heroes. Who there? Do not be alarmed. I am not your enemy. Please, come forward, both of you.
Welcome. I am the prince of this kingdom, the kingdom of darkness. Kris, Susie, there's a legend in this land. A legend that one day 2 heroes of light will arrive, 2 lightners, and fulfill the ancient prophecy foretold by time and space. Please, heroes, listen to my tale.
Sure.
Very thee well, then.
Once upon a time, a legend was whispered among shadows. It was a legend of hope and dreams. It was a legend of light and dark. This is the legend of Deltarune. There's the Deltarune right there. For millennia, light and dark have lived in balance, lightners and darkners, bringing peace to the world. That's in all capitals, interesting. But if this harmony were to shatter, a terrible calamity would occur. The sky will run black with terror. This is the roaring, probably. And the land will crack with fear. Then, her heart pounding, the earth will draw her final breath. It sounds like the earth is alive. Only then, shining with hope, the power within, 3 heroes appear at world's edge. A human, a monster, and a prince from the dark. Only they can seal the fountains and banish the angels' heaven, which sounds like a bad thing. It sounds like a bad thing to banish that. Only then will balance be restored, and the world saved from destruction. Today, the Fountain of Darkness, the gazer that gives this land form, stands tall at the center of the kingdom. But recently, another fountain has appeared on the horizon. And with it, the balance of light and dark begins to shift.
Kris, Susie, thank you for listening to my long tale.
Okay, let's unpack some of that. You know, I was saying we're here to overanalyze everything. Let's unpack some of that. So, in Chapter 4, we do learn that, like, this is just Ralsei's interpretation of the prophecy, basically. And maybe it's like, you know, maybe it's like more so what he wants to happen. Maybe it's not what he wants to happen, but he does have to hold firm to, like, the words of the prophecy, and like, this is what he thinks is going to happen based on what he read. I do think a big piece of this game is going to be interpretations of the prophecy, and that gets us into what wrote the prophecy. Who or what wrote the prophecy of Deltarune? Was it Gaster? There's a possibility of it being Gaster. But I'm not 100% convinced on that. It is very possible that Gaster wrote this prophecy, and that this is like a devil's prophecy, like a hell's prophecy, and that's why we want to find some better ending than what the prophecy says, because it's like something that's just like it's literally talking about hell on Earth Day, and we don't want hell to be on Earth that day, or whatever. We don't want the world to be destroyed. Oh, and this gets us into what the one ending is. I have to give my... Okay, this is just going to be another segment where it's just I talk instead of playing the game. This is going to be this is going to be a theme throughout those videos. There's going to be segments where, like, I just kind of, like, talk and don't do anything. I think another interpretation of what's going on with the prophecy is that it's just written as, like, the game's plot. Maybe you could say it was written by Toby Fox or something along those lines. I don't think Gaster is the creator of the Deltarune light world. I don't think that's the case. Maybe there's something along the lines of, like, he and Toby created the worlds together, or whatever. I have kind of considered the idea that Gaster might be, like, an anti-Toby Fox, or at least, like, an inversion of Toby Fox. Maybe, like, someone with an equal amount of power, but on the other side. And I've kind of considered this because, you know, like, Friend is, like, a little black cat. And like Toby is like a little white dog, and you know that sort of opens the idea. You have the human Toby Fox in our real world, and then you have like the little white dog. This does open the possibility of there being a second Toby Fox insert within this game somewhere. But considering Toby Fox is probably gonna like leave his self-insert off to the side as like the comic relief, not really being a big player in the story, maybe just being the creator of this Deltarune world or whatever, because it's like a meta-narrative, right? It's a game about games. It's a game which is like a metaphor for like people playing video games or whatever, and so it's like I don't think Toby Fox is going to play a huge role in this, apart from being the storyteller. And so maybe this is what's going on with Gaster. Like, Gaster's a storyteller as well, but he's the storyteller for the Dark Worlds. You know? Like, maybe Toby Fox is the storyteller for the Light Worlds, and then Gaster's a storyteller for the Dark Worlds. You know? What if that's the case? Because, like, Toby Fox was the storyteller for Undertale, and, like, whenever you get an achievement, the little dog would come up and say something about, like, I'm running out of ideas for achievement names, or something like that. And, like, there's a little room you could find, which was, like, the dog programming in a game by using, like, a text-to-speech program. The dog represents the game developer, and so it does seem that, like, in the PlayStation version, I believe you can only get achievements in the Dark World, and they're all spoken of in, like every time you get an achievement, it's sort of spoken of in, like, the sort of all capitalized, like, Gaster way of speaking. And so I'm wondering if Toby Fox is to the Light World what Gaster is to the Dark Worlds. Right? And maybe they have, like, equal amounts of power in this conjoined world. Maybe they have, like, equal power or something. Because it's, like, a balance of dark and light. Taking cues from, like, all sorts of different, you know, stories and religions and stuff from the real world. You know, taken from a whole bunch of different ones. It's not just Christianity again, like Narnia was. And then there's us, the player. We live in the super light world. You know, it would probably be called, like, the Heights in Deltarune. Like, if where Gaster is called the Depths in Deltarune, then maybe where we are, the player, maybe where we are is called the Heights. And so we are from the Heights. Maybe. Something like that. I could see that. And so it's like, we're essentially the same thing that, like, Toby Fox would be. We're an angel, not really a god. I think Deltarune's story has been very consistent, not referring to the player or Toby Fox or Gaster or any of these characters. It's very consistent about not calling any of these characters God or a god or anything like that. And I do think it is more so a story about, like, angels, right? Like, very lesser but not ultimate powerful cosmic beings or whatever. And so there is definitely a lot of, like, there's definitely a lot of god imagery in the game, but that's not to say that the player is just the god of Deltarune. It's more like the player is the angel of Deltarune. And even Toby Fox, I don't even think Toby Fox would be called the god of Deltarune. I think he'd be called, like, the creator angel of Deltarune. Like, he'd be, like, more of a creator or something like that. Um, and then Gaster might be called an angel, you know. And I think this is a big thing because if we think about whatever, because like I do think that the player is meant to be the angel, but if we think about characters who have just as much power as the player, you have Gaster, who kind of serves a role as like a dungeon master, and you have Toby Fox, who created the dang game. They'd kind of be like angels as well, I guess, to the perspective of the Deltarunes. It's weird because it's like I don't see myself as an angel. I see myself as a guy with like a neck beard playing a video game and having to analyze its lore. Am I high? Am I high? Am I high? I'm not high. I'm a Deltarune fan. Oh, goodness. But, like, I could see something along the lines of, like, Toby Fox wrote the prophecy, and Gaster, like, interprets that prophecy. And so Gaster, like, interprets that prophecy, and then when he sends the knight to go make the Dark Worlds or whatever, the knight, like, puts that interpretation of the prophecy into the Dark Worlds to bring it to be in the Dark Worlds, you know? But because the prophecy is written in such a way where there are double meanings and missing information, it sometimes doesn't mean what the characters think it means. And because like when you play through chapter 4, you read all these prophecy panels, and it's clear that they're written in a sense where this could mean several different things. Right? So like love finds its way to a girl. What does that mean? Does that mean the girl finds a girlfriend or a boyfriend? Does that mean that, like, level of violence finds its way to the girl if, like, you're doing the weird route or something? Does that just mean the love of friends? Does that just mean that the girl finds a friend and they have, like, a sense of true love? Like, you know, like a Disney, sister is true love. You don't need romance type of thing, right? Because like I listened to like all the I read all the prophecy panels, and like all of them are sort of written in a way where you could take it in multiple directions, and it feels like all of these directions could be correct, and you can just like do that if you wanted, right? That's what kind of what it felt like, but it also feels like we're trying to get away from this idea of one ending, like only one way to save the worlds from destruction or something. And so I'm kind of thinking, what if even the final prophecy panel is something that Susie just misinterpreted, you know, when she read it? And what it actually means could be something just completely fine. And we could get the story to, like, that completely fine interpretation of the prophecy without actually breaking it. I could see that. I do think I might like that type of ending more. Because it's, like... Because the thing you have to understand about these stories about, like, you know, there being a prophecy, but us trying to find some sort of ending that isn't the prophecy. In stories like this, you can easily, like, just sort of break your own rules. You can break the rules of your... you can break the established rules of your series in a way that sort of, like, comes out of your ass. You know? When you do it that way. So it's like, you gotta be careful to make sure that the rules of the universe stay established, unless if it's like there's attention drawn to how this is a breaking of a rule, and there being a reason for why the rule was, like, broken in this way or something, you know? And you look at Gerson's philosophy, it really seems like he was focused on the missing pieces of the prophecy, right? It didn't seem like his focus was really on defying fate or whatever. It really seems like his emphasis was on writing your own story because there's so many blank pages here, which is a different philosophy. You know, you might say it's slightly different. No, that is a different philosophy. And I think we'll be seeing that throughout this game, you know, when we get to Chapter 4. It's complicated, I'll say. It's complicated, but I think Deltarune is trying to do something that's more complicated and nuanced than being the let's break fate type of story, or let's lose all agency type story. I think it's doing something more nuanced and complicated than either of those ideas. You know? I think it's doing something more nuanced. And we'll see what that is in like chapter 6, 7. I have my own ideas about the ending, and I kind of want to get into them later. I deeply believe you two are the heroes of legend. And that's the thing, he believes that they're the heroes of the legend, but he's not actually sure. That despite whatever enemies you may face, you two have the courage to save the world. Courage is a game stat, and save the world is a pun because we have save points. Delta Warriors, please, won't you accept your density? Nah. What? Me? Some kind of hero? Yeah, the wrong person. But Susie, without you, the world will... So what? If the world gets destroyed, it's not my damn business. Might even be kind of fun, honestly. Anyway, Kris, if you want to play pretend with this weirdo, stick around. I'm gonna find a way out of here. Susie, wait! Oh, ouchie, mama!
Ho, ho, ho! The heroes are already running away, and they didn't even know I was here. My dad's gonna make me son of the month.
Who the hell are you anyway?
I'm the bad guy. Also, I am another prince from a land of darkness. You clowns want to steal our dark fountain, huh? And, still picturing you guys as clowns, save the world from eternal darkness, huh? Don't try to deny it. We both know you'll go east. It's your only way home. But I, Lancer, won't let you go there. And I've got a flawless 2-step plan to ensure it. Step 1, I thrash you. Step 2, you lose.
Nice plan, kid.
Really?
Yeah, actually. Mind if we use it on you instead?
Lancer busts in. Check. Not to call a spade, but he's a spade. Not old enough to ride a motorcycle, so he set his bike on fire.
Halt, clowns! This bike is fueled by victory!
Na 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 na. Warning. You tell Lancer to watch out for Susie's attack. He readies himself.
I love to get thrashed. Just kidding, that's you!
Lancer revs viciously. You tell Lancer you can't tell the difference between his clothes and his body. He seems flattered. His attack power went down.
Oh, you make my feelings do wheelies, sweet wheelies.
Yeah. I should have talked to him.
Ho ho ho, I'm the bad guy.
We should have gotten some more flavor. Ow!
Wait a second. My bike's running out of fuel. Alright, you punkaroos. I don't have the luck of the draw this time, but next time the losers will be you. Ha ha ha! Bye, losers. I got you home for dinner.
$39. Okay.
Are you two okay? allow me to introduce myself more properly. I am...
Jeez, can you take out that hood? I can barely hear you under there.
All right. Rousey! Hello, everyone. I am Rousey. Kris, Susie, it's ever so wonderful to meet you. I'm certain we're going to become great friends and...
Best way to leave is east, right?
Yes, that's where we'll...
Got it. See you at school, Kris.
I suppose it's just the two of us then? Kris, I'm a prince, but
Prince!
I currently don't have any subjects. I've been waiting all alone here my whole life for you two to arrive.
So you have not encountered anyone. Not even... You know, a little bit of the... You know, not the... You know, you haven't encountered that guy? You haven't encountered no... Na 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 na. You encounter no... Da na da 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 na da da da. You haven't encountered no... Da 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 da. You haven't encountered no... You haven't encountered no...
So, I'm really happy to meet you. I hope we can be good friends, Kris. Let's try to find Susie. She must be to the southeast.
I will let you guys know that if you just want like a standard Deltarune playthrough, you can lead the way, Kris. If you want a standard Deltarune playthrough, you're not going to get that with this. This is going to be like me fucking around and just making whatever jokes I want.
Hey, Kris, I really think we should catch up with Susie. We can come back here after our adventure is over, and then I can bake you a yummy cake.
I don't know about my keyboard, guys. I don't know about my keyboard. It just feels weird. Rousey, the Lonely Prince is now your ally. The Lonely Prince! The prince alone in deepest dark. Ah. The power of Fluffy Boys shines within you. Your power!
Oh, Kris, it's the training dummy I made. Now seems like a great chance to prepare for the enemy. Would you like me to teach you how to fight?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, get ready, Kris. See that heart, Kris? Oh, the red text, the red, I remember your genocides text? That's your soul! The combination of your being. Within it, it holds your will, your compassion.
I noticed that will is also in capitals, and compassion is also in capitals. You know, considering that love was also in capitals, I don't know how I feel about this. It feels like it's an acronym for something. I don't know if it's an acronym for anything good or bad. It's probably neutral. It's probably an acronym for something neutral, I assume.
And the fate of the world. If it gets hit, you and your friends will lose HP. If everyone's HP reaches 0, we'll lose the battle. So please, take care to avoid the enemy's attacks. Ready? Let's try dodging. Great job, Kris. You are natural. Anyhow, after the enemy attacks, it's our turn, Kris. First, I'll teach you how to fight. Sword. Though fight-ing is unnecessary in this world, there's no harm in a thorough lesson. Let's try fight-ing. Wow, Kris, that's an amazing attack. Have you done this before or something? Okay, next let's try defending. Simply, and the enemy's attack will hurt you less. Not only that, but you'll also gather TP. Watch the word which bar on the left. I'll explain it next. Simply, picture of a shield.
Let's try defending. Is Rousey the narrator? I don't know about that, because he appears with us in the light world too, so I don't know about that one. Let's try defending. Picture of a shield. I like the idea that he just said picture of a shield.
Great job, Kris. Now that you've gathered TP, how about spending that on one of my spells? Because you hit the enemy enough, it got tired. Now if I use my pacify spell on it, it will fall asleep and will win peacefully.
Let's try spells. Picture of fire. Cast pacify.
Great, Kris. We'd have won the battle by now. Now I have just a little more to teach you. Acting! Through this, even the most violent enemies can be defeated through various acts of kindness. Kris, though it's just a dummy, why not give it a hug?
You hug Rousey.
Kris, I don't think this is what you're supposed to be doing. But Kris, are you trying to ask me to give you a tutorial on hugging? I never hugged anyone before, besides the dummy, to test it out, so I don't know anything about it, sorry. I suppose you're the one teaching me.
Okay. Hug.
Aw, that's great, Kris. Each enemy has different acts that satisfy them. When an enemy is satisfied, its name turns
Yellow!
When that happens, you can defeat it by sparing it. If we spare all the enemies we meet, we'll never have to fight.
Okay. I don't think there's anything... Oh.
Gee, Kris, you sure are good at defending. I'm not attacking you, though, so no need to defend. Kris, there are no bullets, and you can't use TP, so if you could stop defending...
He had like this sarcastic element of his personality in Chapter 1 that I feel...
Kris, I think we've, perhaps reached the limits of what I can teach you today. Let's go find Susie.
Are you trying to call me stupid? Are you saying I'm dumb?
Sorry, Kris. I'll try to be a better teacher next time. Actually, if you prefer to read instead, here, I wrote a manual for you and Susie. Press Y to open the menu and use it in your items.
You got the manual. Rousey's handmade book full of various tips and tricks. You tried to read the manual, but it was so dense it made your head spin. Okay. It's just a dummy. Okay.
Oh my! The great door is opened! No wonder Lancer was able to come through. Kris, once we pass through this door, our adventure will really begin. A journey foretold exactly by the prophecy. But Kris, I believe your choices are important too. This world is full of all kinds of people, Kris. In the end, how we treat them does make all the difference. So let's try our best to get by without fighting. If we can manage to do that, I believe this tale may have a happy ending. Otherwise, I fear that you may not find the result favorable. Oh, I'm sorry, is that too much to ask? Oh, I'm sorry, Kris. In the end, what you choose is up to you. As long as you're happy with it, I'm happy too. So just try your best and don't worry. Could be.
The door closed behind you, your adventure will truly begin. The power of adventure shines within you. Okay. The field of hopes and dreams, enemies ahead. You're gonna die. Sign Lancer. Hey, there's a Rudin. I'm gonna fight it. Rudin drew near. Convince. I'm gonna build up some TP. It's utterly swayed.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Thinks about elaborate stones. I want to get as much TP as possible because I want some good money by the end of this. Ah, freak.
I'm just a normal person. Face my diamond cutter!
I thought you were convinced to stop fighting me. You won. You got 55 buck. What? No! Stop! With the friggin'... If you're reading this, I guess you're dead. Signed, Lancer. Hey, don't read the sign. It's a work in progress. Signed, Lancer. Ho ho ho! If it isn't my two favorite people DVD! Psych! You guys aren't even my top 5.
That's it. Where's Susie?
You mean the purple girl? Ho ho ho! You fools! You're too late to stop me!
What did you do?
Haha! It was so simple! She beat me up, so I ran away.
That's a bit anticlimactic. So you're just gonna stand there? I thought you would at least run to the right.
Why? The purple girl's over there. These types of trees don't contain an item that can heal you. Whatever you do, don't check the tree and use Y to open your menu. You got it? Signed, Lancer. Oh, wait, hang on. You decided to let the tree keep... There are 2 objects hanging from the tree. Take one. Yes. You got the dark candy. There's nothing hanging low enough to take. Okay. Dark candy. Heals 40 HP. A red and black star that tastes like marshmallows. Red and black star, like deaths? It's like marshmallows. So these are probably like marshmallow scented stickers or whatever. In the real world. I don't know what the glow shard would be. What's something that would be in the school classroom and the library and Kris's house? Hey, if you head that way, my troops will thrash you!
Is that a threat?
I prefer to think of it as the invitation.
Ah!
Rudin. A necklace of Rudins blocks the path. Check. Rudin. This ambivalent diamond isn't any girl's best friend. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, it's in battles now as well. Oh. Convince. Told Rudin to quit fighting. It was utterly swayed.
Guess that makes sense. Long live the guy who pays us!
Rudin has no strong opinions one way or the other. Told Rudin to quit fighting. It was utterly swayed.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Oh. Let me get more TP. I want more TP.
Long live the guy who pays us!
Ow. Spare. Spared Rudin. Imagine trying to fight Jovel where my freaking... We could use the controller! Hang on. Yeah, we could so use the Xbox 360 controller. I'm not sure which buttons do what. B moves, Y opens inventory, and I don't know what X is. Maybe it's X.
Mama Biba, I'm top chef. My latest cake worked me to exhaustion. So I took a little nap. But Mama Biba, a scary noise woke me up. A beast was hunched on the table, eating the cake like an animal. I shot it with water and it hissed and ran off. But my beloved, wonderful cake is... Aw, Kris, that sounds like Susie. We must be going the right way. Let's try to keep her out of any more trouble. Mama Biba! Mama Sheba! Mama Shida! Mama Shida! You know that beast! Please don't come back!
Remains of the cake are still smoldering. Take a piece, sure. You can take us out of your key items. Remains of the cake are still smoldering. I'm gonna use the controller. Aye. Rudin and Hathy block the way. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right using the controller. I'm used to the keyboard. Hathy. Check. Hathy. I am a little kiss. So is the narrator calling themselves a little kiss? Because it was like Chara narrator in the original Undertale, right? Like there was some evidence for Chara narrator. Is it saying I'm a little kiss because it's a little heart? Is the heart saying it's a little kiss and the heart is the narrator? Is Kris the narrator? Is Kris the narrator? I don't know. Is Kris the narrator? Is Rousey the narrator? Rousey seems to like... I don't know. He says some stuff. I am a little kiss. Okay.
Long live the guy who pays us!
Oh no. Oh no, this does not feel natural at all. It's better than using the frickin' like broken ass thing, but X flatter. You ordered Rousey to flatter all the enemies.
I'm making tea later. Would you like any?
Long live the guy who pays us!
Hathy smiled a darling smile. Okay, but it's still saying it wants to eat us, or whatever that means. Hathy has a little secret. What's the little secret? What's the little secret? What does that mean? What does that mean, you have a little secret? Does that port to the lore? Is Hathy's secret the key to finding the good non-ending? There are 2 objects hanging from the tree. Take one. Yeah. That's dark candy. 2 objects hanging from the tree. Pete and Repeat fell off the tree. Pete fell off. Who was left? Repeat. Check the clock. In order to solve this puzzle, you'll have to hurry. Oh. Okay. I'm not used to playing with a controller, guys. Every time I play this, I play it with the... Okay.
Behold, the maze of death. Prepare to get lost, clowns. Signed, Lancer. Feeling lost yet? You must be utterly helpless among these twisted turns. Your sense of direction won't save you now. Signed, Lancer.
Some sort of enemy. Looks like they got clobbered.
Whoa, wait a minute. Even if you're my enemy, I've got to warn you. Purple Beast is roaming and clobbering anyone who dares to block our way. We don't even like fighting. The king left us with no choice. Oh, Kris, we need to stop Susie quick.
Hey, wait, where am I? Help! Somebody help, I'm lost! Signed, Lancer.
You opened the treasure chest. Inside was white ribbon. You put white ribbon in your armors.
That ribbon is armor, Kris. It increases defense. Why don't you try wearing it in the equipment menu? I think it'd look great on you.
Okay. Equipment. White ribbon. A crinkly hair ribbon that slightly increases your defense. It probably is just a ribbon in the light world. The scarf's probably just a scarf. I could imagine that. And the wood blade's a pencil. That was a stone.
Kris, you're giving it to me? Well, does it look pretty?
Oh my gosh, I hate playing with the controller. Oh no, I hate the controller. Oh, I hate it.
Hey, don't look, the side's private. Signed, Lancer. Oh, it's just this way. Signed, Lancer. Ho ho ho! Somehow you survived the maze. But don't count your blessings before they hatch. Let's see how you fare against this team.
Okay, 3 Hathys walked away. Okay, I think I have a solution to the down arrow getting stuck problem. Okay, I pressed it like 57,000 times. So maybe whatever was causing it to get stuck is not stuck in there anymore. X flatter. We're Rousey to flatter all the enemies.
I'm making tea later. Would you like any?
Hey, why aren't you guys thrashed? You're totally outnumbered.
You made a team purely of support enemies. The bullet patterns aren't balanced at all. It's like a dinner made out of 3 glasses of milk.
That's, unusual? Somehow?
Why don't we talk about this after the battle? Hathy smiled a darling smile. Oh no, it's still stuck! Ah! Okay, it's making me use the controller. I have to use the controller. It's the only way. It's the only way! Smells like a soft kiss. What does a soft kiss smell like? Doesn't sound pleasant. Great job, Kris. We earned 0 EXP and $109.
Sweet, how much do I get?
You lost, Lancer. You don't get any.
Oh. Can I have some of yours?
No!
Fine. Later, losers.
How do we get money off of them? Do we steal it?
It was just this way, side Lancer. Sup?
I thought you were running away.
Yeah, I finished.
Eh. 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 Eh, 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 eh. Kris, I think we might be missing something. Maybe we should try going to the next room? Yeah, you would know. You know the solutions to all the puzzles Chapter 4 told me. Come on. What the heck's... There's 3 of us here. There's 2 of you, and then I got like a little heart, and I can like put the heart. Kris, rip the heart out, put it on the button. I'm joking about that. There probably would be a solution to that in some sort of Chapter 5 puzzle. You have anything else to say? Okay. Open up your stupid door. Oh, great. It's you guys. Susie, we were ever so worried about you. How'd you get past those spikes before?
Walk through them. But this door sucks.
Aw, don't worry, Susie. It'll open after we solve the puzzle over there.
Nice. Tell me when you finish it.
Susie, we need you to finish it. Sometimes proceeding will take all 3 of us. Furthermore, only Kris can seal the dark fountain. So if you don't accompany us, you won't make it home.
So you're saying I have to stick with you guys?
Yep.
Let's just get this over with.
Yahoo! Susie's back on the team! Cue the fanfare!
Susie joined the party. Susie follows at a distance such that no one can tell she's associated.
So you know that only Kris can seal the fountain. So that's interesting. You already know that I'm the only one who can seal the dark fountain. Susie can't seal it herself. Yeah. Sound like a door open. You see how many times I had to round that bend? This is because I need to use a controller. Okay, so I think we've been playing long enough to get to another like let's talk about the lore segment. So Ralsei, what item is he in the light world? What item is you? Cause your hat is very crayon shaped, and I am missing a green crayon from my house. So that does make a lot of sense, and I could see it. I definitely could see it. I could also see Ralsei being like a tube of toothpaste, because he's toothpaste boy, right? And like, he was freaking. I think he does just straight up make toothpaste in Chapter 4 as one of his acts. So maybe he has the ability to just do that. So it's like, I could see that. Alternatively, I don't really like those options because those aren't, like, epic enough. I want Ralsei to be something epic. I could see him being a baby blanket because the way he moves in Chapter 4 was very blanket-like. It was very much so like a blanket fluttering in the wind. I think Ralsei should be something that's, like, very soft. Like, maybe something that's, like, made out of cotton or cloth so that he's, like, very soft. I mean, like, we talk about his texture. I think it does mention his texture, is that he's, like, very fluffy, right? Every time we mention his texture in-game, it mentions him as being a very fluffy texture. And I couldn't really see that being the case with a crayon or a tube of toothpaste. I couldn't really see that texture being Ralsei. So he'd have to be something fluffy. And so I could see him being a blanket. I could see him being a stuffed animal, like maybe just like a stuffed goat that Kris has. But then I thought, what is my favorite idea? What would be like my favorite idea as to what Ralsei could be? And then I thought, the angel doll. So it was mentioned that, like, it's mentioned towards, like, the end of this chapter, I think it is literally this one, that Kris and Asriel made, like, an angel doll when they were kids. And it like, had these massive wings. And Ralsei, he can fly. He has the burden of knowledge as discussed by Chapter 4, so I could see him maybe being, like, an angel-like figure. And also, if Ralsei is an angel, it would make sense why he has so many character traits that both Asriel and Kris have. So he looks like Asriel, he's a choir boy like Asriel. I think he is meant to, like, he does have a healing prayer, so I think he is meant to be, like, a worshiper of the angel, probably. But he's also got, like, Kris's scarf, right? You can see he has this Kris's scarf. He's, like, Kris's age, I'm pretty sure. And, like, because we haven't seen a lot of Kris's personality, and that's kind of, like, the point of the game, is that we don't get to see a lot of Kris's personality, we don't really get a whole bunch of details about his personality. And so it's like, I could see him maybe being an angel doll made by Asriel and Kris, and he bears personality traits to both Asriel and Kris. I could see that, and I really love that idea. And like, his robe, the shape of his robe, right? You see the shape of his robe. The way, like, the robe goes down at the bottom is very similar to how, like... Well, that's very similar to how sort of, like, the angel dolls we see throughout the game are like. Like, they're like, all in white. Maybe Kris and Asriel made their angel doll out of, like, a green material. And it's like, I could very much see that. I like the idea. Ralsei does not have wings. And that's important to note, that Ralsei doesn't have wings. He can fly, but he doesn't have wings. Maybe the scarves are his wings? I don't know. Oh, Kris, I just realized Susie missed the tutorial. Next battle, we should show her how to act. I think she might really enjoy that. Uh-oh! C-Round attacked violently! You recall Ralsei's advice to include Susie in an act. Check. C-Round, despite appearances, it's trying its best to defeat you. No! Susie, what the fudge? You just went all in!
I sneaked by and made a sign, signed Lancer.
Susie, I suppose you missed what I said earlier. As heroes, we have the power to make a peaceful future. So from now on, let's try to avoid fighting, okay? What if we just took it easy on them? If you weaken an enemy, I can use my pacify spell, which can put exhausted people to sleep.
Yeah, you talking is already doing that.
Well, just think about it. We might have to warn enemies about her, Kris.
Oh, okay, so I'm gonna go into shop first. Okay, I got some stuff to talk about.
Welcome, traveler. Welcome, travelers.
About yourself.
The name's Seam, pronounced Shawm, and this is my little shop. Over the years, I've collected odds and ends. Of course, I've no attachment to any of it. It's just a hobby of mine. Around here, you'll learn to find ways to pass the time. Or go mad like everyone else. Don't have anything better to do? Long ago, the Darkners lived in harmony with the Lightners. They were like gods to us, our protectors, our creators, those who gave us purpose. Then one day, we were all locked away in this prison, and the Lightners never returned. Embittered, the king took up arms and aims to take revenge upon the Lightners that left us behind. Of course, even among his troops, some still distantly hope the Lightners will return. Okay, so I have something to mention about that. So, in the early days of Deltarune, we all had like this very complicated idea where we thought the Card Castle Dark World existed at some point in the past. And then, like, for some reason, the fountain was sealed. And then, for some reason, like, when the night came along, it activated again. And so it was just, there was a Dark World, and then there wasn't, and then there was. But what I've kind of come to realize over time is that how a Lightner treats a Darkner before their given form does contribute to their memories. So, like, say you play cards with your friend. Those cards are going to develop memories of you once they're turned into Darkners. And their memories are going to be kind of based on the way you treated them in the light world. So let's take a look at what he says. So this is Gerson's classroom, right? The dark world we're in is Gerson Boom's old classroom. Let's listen to what he said again. The Darkners lived in harmony with the Lightners. So the Lightners used to play cards, and like play with stuffed animals and play with the board games and stuff. They were like gods to us. They protected us. They created us. They gave us purpose. So of course, you know, it's like Lightners would be like manufacturing cards and stuffed animals, and you know, some of them would be like maybe this is a plushie with a strong emotional attachment. They would be protecting them, right? They gave us purpose. They gave us something to do. Then we were locked away in this prison, and the Lightners never returned. Why were they locked away in the prison? Because Gerson died, and his classroom was never used. So all the items in the classroom were just never touched again, because the classroom doors were, like, blocked off, right? The school didn't want to use that room again for some reason. Maybe it's, like, taboo. This guy died, so let's not use his classroom again, or something like that. And so all the, like, the toys that, like, the kids would break out during, like, playtime and stuff, they never touched them. Again, after Gerson's death, because no one ever went in that room again. And it could be considered a prison to their perspective, like this room of the school that was just locked off. It is just a prison cell to them. The Lightners never returned. Embittered, the king, believing the Lightners had abandoned him, took up arms and aims to take revenge upon the Lightners. Because they didn't abandon him, one of them died. Of course, even among his troops, some still distantly hope the Lightners will return. Okay. Kingdom. Historically, this land was ruled by 4 kings, from Card Castle to the east. But recently, a strange night appeared, the Roaring Night, and 3 of the kings were locked away.
Spade King, the remaining king, the Spade King, put him and his strange son into power. So, the remaining king, the King of Spades, did not meet the knight. So it was actually the king who put himself into power after what the knight did. This land hasn't seen this much chaos since... Well, you don't need to know about that. So actually they were very careful to say that the knight and king never met each other in that. Haha, so you are the heroes who are going to seal our fountain? Good luck. It makes no difference to me. Neither light nor dark hold a future for a darkner in my condition. Exit. Sell. Sell items. Alright, give me an item. You can't sell the manual, unfortunately. I think I'm going to hold on to the glow shard until next chapter. I might sell on my candies later. And I want to buy... I think I want to buy some items. I want to buy the Amber card and the Spooky Sword. I don't think I'm going to buy one of everything and discuss what it is in the light world, because that would just take too much money. I'm not going to buy one of everything, alright? See you again, or not. I'm not going to buy one of anything, but, like, okay, let's go into the equipment menu. Let's see what these are. Amber card. A thin square charm that sticks to you, increasing defense. That is 100% a sticky note. And then, what's the Spooky Sword? Yeah, a black and orange sword with a bat hilt. So this is like a Halloween-themed pencil, is what this is. And then, which one of you deserves armor? Which one of you gets armor? Frickin', I don't know, Kris. You can have some armor. There's an Amber card. It's whatever. It's whatevs.
Hey, kid, you want to buy a tutorial? It's only $50 dark dollars. I did I say 50? Well, we were on sales, 20 dark dollars. Only $1, please, I need it right now.
Excuse me, sir. I think I have $1.
Is it dark?
Yes.
Perfect. Right this way, gentlemeners.
Gentlemeners. I noticed that, like, Kris, every time after an interaction, Kris just looks towards the camera. And I'm wondering if the idea here is it's like, we get done with an interaction, okay, what do you want me to do now? So it's like, it's like Kris is like on a waiting command mode, you know? It's like, and that's probably not our fault. That's probably due to them and how they think they need to treat us, right? Because Kris is able to do stuff while we're in the body. You know, Kris is able to do quite a few things while we're in the body. And we see a lot of stuff that Kris just does while we're in them. And so I think there's like some sort of semblance of like, Kris is just waiting command. Like a fucking automaton. Like, it's freaking, like, that's not how I want Kris to live.
We're sorry. We're normally puzzle guys, but we've been forced to do tutorials just to meet ends meet. When the king got power, he fired everyone and replaced all puzzle makers with him. Rules card. Ruxel's card. Lord of the puzzles. Be careful.
The king didn't even give us severance pay. Severance pay? What's severance pay?
His son just gave us all beanies. Itchy beanies.
Donation hole. If you like our tutorials, please throw your money into a hole. You decided to save the dollar for a different hole. What does that mean? I'm sorry, what does that mean? Throw your money into a hole. Throw $1. You put $1 in the hole. The hole became full. The hole is filled to the brim with cash. Hole goals. 1 monthly tutorial weekly. 10 weekly tutorial monthly. 100 stop making tutorials. I'm Kris Master. Ask me about Kris's reviving. When HP goes negative, your friends fall down. But bringing them back is easy town. Plain foods and spells work like a charm. And with a mint, you can cure all harm.
Even normal items and spells can revive people, huh?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm Kris Master. Ask me about Kris's. It's a good idea to give us bucks.
It'll make you happy and fill you with looks. Over there's our donation hole. We had a box, but it got stolen. I'm Kris, Master. Ask me about Kris's acting. If you only act, you might start to think, what about the guy with the scarf and pink?
If you know acting would make the enemy friendly, then you could ask me to spare on the same turn. Or cast Pacify if you know they'll get tired. If you plan ahead, a lot can happen in one turn.
Hey, who's the master here, me or you? I'm Kris, Master. Ask me about Crystal's buy. Later, kid.
Okay.
I'm Susie, Master. Ask me about Susie's. When Kris uses warning, Susie can't hit, so make sure to...
So there's no reason to use it.
Unless you wanted to not hit...
So there's no reason to use it!
I'm asking about Susie loves when you give us money. She will...
Nope, don't care.
Did I say something funny? No, I'm Susie, Master. Ask me about Susie's attack. Susie always attacks the foe on time. She'll smash them with a crushing shot. She always strikes at the first thing she sees. Oh no, she's looking at me! Bye.
Okay.
I'm Rousey, Master. Ask me about Rousey's Pacify. Rousey's spell called Pacify. Use it on babies before they cry.
What? It safely removes a tired enemy from combat.
What if you're fighting a baby? I'm Rousey, Master. Ask me about Rousey's fact. Rousey loves when you give us money. He will hug you and call you honey.
Hey, that's not true! You don't need money to get me to do that.
Healing. Rousey has a spell that heals, dude. Why use that when you could eat food?
Because you won't have to use up an item?
I could have avoided all those empty calories. I'm asking about Rousey's buy. Later, kid.
TP Master, ask me about TPs. What's TP? TP, what's TP? I'll let you cast spells, see? When you sit out on bar, cast some spells will fill up far. TP is quite a caper. TP stands for toilet paper. No, it stands for tension points. What, really? You get TP when you defend. Protect yourself. And cast spells, friend. You can also get TP by getting close to bullets. Look for the hard outline when you get close to bullets. You run bullets with bullets. Because it's important! TP only lasts inside a fight. Once you win, it's out of sight. Having extra feels unbearable. No point in saving, it's straight up terrible. The leftover TP turns into an extra money at the end of battle. You mean I should have only been using one square? Okay, that's whatever. I don't care about these guys too much. That's why I was kind of out of it. It's just like, I've read these guys' dialogue like 1,000 times, and I don't care. I don't give two shits about the Puzzle Masters, okay? They are annoying when you have to... Susie, the Violet Tormentor is now your ally. It says Violet. That's not even Violet! That's not even what Violet looks like! The power of Mean Girl shines within you. The power within! It's a low door frame. For some reason you can't see through. You can't see through it. So it's just black, or is it nothing? Blind people don't see black. They see nothing.
Well, flip my flapjacks. The clowns are back in town. Well, bad news. Since you saw me several minutes ago, I've created a brand new fighting team ready to stop you. Not even the purple girl can stop me now. Ho, ho, ho! Are you ready to be...
Stop. Stop talking. Ho, ho, ho. What is that? Why are you saying that?
Ho, ho, ho? It's my evil laugh. Scary, right?
You sound like baby Santa Claus.
You mean like in a badass way?
Shut up. You really think you know how to be scary?
Well, I...
Wrong. Man, would it be tough guys like you really piss me off? Face it, you wouldn't know scary. They'd pick you up and bit your face off.
That's not true.
Oh, really? Then why don't we prove it? We'll start with the part where your face gets bit off.
Oh, okay, I get it. Thank you, Purple Girl.
What?
Thanks. It was kind of you to teach me how to be scary with an evil laugh.
Hey, I wasn't...
And now, you're going to be thrashed. Ah! Merry Christmas!
I guess that's kind of an improvement. I think after this fight, I'm gonna get something to eat. Check. Jigsaw, this mousenary is only fighting to make ends meet. Mousenary? Are they mice? They don't look like mice. They look like... I don't know, they look like freaking... I don't know. They never looked like mice, and they never looked like puzzle... No! Wait! Oh, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. No! 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 No, we're not... No. I can't escape. I can't press the escape button. What? This keyboard is just awful. Okay, you know what? What we're going to do is we're going to go back to the previous save file. And... Because, no. No. I'm not going to let that happen. I'm not going to let that happen to you. We'll do this later. I got to go eat right now.